Top 10 Cillian Murphy performances. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know, there are certain actors whose work I always look forward to. Cillian Murphy is one of those actors. He completely disappears into every role he takes on, and you never know what you're gonna get, except that it's going to be good. Today we're diving into the top 10 Cillian Murphy movies you absolutely need to watch, whether you're already a fan or just discovering how amazing this guy is. So grab your popcorn and let's get started. We're starting off strong with Inception. Cillian's work as Robert Fisher really makes this movie something special. He's not your typical protagonist. He's the target in Dom Cobb's world of corporate espionage and dream hacking. Instead of being just a plot device, Cillian imbues Fisher with vulnerability and underlying sadness, making you root for him. Haunted by his father's legacy, Fisher wrestles with emotions and implanted ideas, elevating the film's exploration of guilt, identity, and subconscious desires. Think about the scene where Fisher confronts the memory of his father in the vault. Cillian portrays a mix of anger, sadness, and ultimately, forgiveness, elevating the emotional stakes of the film. He takes even a supporting role and turns it into something memorable. He nails the action sequences too, making you believe he's in real danger. Inception is a mind-bending masterpiece, but Cillian's performance adds an extra layer of complexity and heart. It's a masterclass in subtle acting, conveying a character's inner turmoil with just a look or a slight change in demeanor. If you haven't seen Inception yet, check it out and pay attention to Cillian's performance. It's the definition of a scene stealer. This is the film that put Cillian Murphy on the map. 28 Days Later is not your average zombie movie. Cillian's performance as Jim is a big reason why. He wakes up from a coma to a world ravaged by a virus. Through his eyes, we experience society's breakdown. His vulnerability is striking. He's not an action hero, he's scared and confused. You feel his fear and desperation. The opening sequence is a masterclass in isolation and dread. Jim encounters survivors and moral complexities. Cillian's range shines from introspection to rage. He transforms from passive observer to hardened survivor. 28 Days Later is gripping, with Cillian's performance at its heart. Let's be real, this could be a whole video on its own. Cillian Murphy as Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders is iconic. The haircut, the stare, the cigarette always dangling from his lips. It's the definition of swagger. But beneath that tough exterior there's a depth of emotion, a tortured soul that Cillian portrays brilliantly. Thomas is a complex character, a war veteran haunted by his experiences, navigating the criminal underworld of post-World War I Birmingham. He's ruthless and cunning, but also capable of great love and loyalty. It's a balancing act that Cillian pulls off flawlessly. His performance is all about subtlety. A flicker of his eyes, a slight tightening of his jaw, speaks volumes. You can see the wheels turning behind those piercing blue eyes, calculating his next move. But what really makes his performance captivating is the emotional depth he brings to the role. Thomas is haunted by the horrors he's witnessed, and Cillian allows us to see glimpses of that trauma. Peaky Blinders is a stylish, gripping show with a stellar cast, but Cillian Murphy is the undeniable star. His portrayal of Thomas Shelby is mesmerizing, a masterclass in charisma and emotional complexity. Okay, so maybe this isn't the biggest role in the Dark Knight trilogy, but it's memorable, alright? Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow is the stuff of nightmares. He's creepy, unsettling, and brings a psychological terror to the films. Christopher Nolan saw something in Cillian, this ability to convey madness and menace with just a look. Even when he's just standing there, lurking in the shadows, he exudes danger. The mask is obviously a huge part of it. It's terrifying on its own, but Cillian uses his voice and eyes to sell the character. His voice is raspy, almost pained, like he's constantly on the verge of losing it. The interrogation scene with Batman in the first film is a perfect example. The way he taunts Batman, his voice dripping with venom, it's chilling. Scarecrow's impact on the Dark Knight trilogy is undeniable. Sunshine is one of those movies that really stuck with me. And Cillian Murphy's performance as Robert Capa is a big part of that. It's a sci-fi film, but it's more about the human condition, about our relationship with fear and hope in the face of the unknown. Cillian plays a physicist on a mission to reignite the dying sun. He conveys the weight of that responsibility, the pressure of knowing that the fate of humanity rests on his shoulders. The film is visually stunning, with incredible shots of the sun, and Cillian's performance matches that intensity. There's a scene where he's staring directly at the sun, and you can feel the heat, the overwhelming power of it, just from his reaction. As the mission goes awry, the crew starts to unravel, and Cillian perfectly captures that descent into paranoia and madness. Sunshine is a thought-provoking, visually stunning film, and Cillian Murphy's performance is the anchor that grounds it all. He conveys the vastness of space, the fragility of humanity, and the terror of the unknown, all with a quiet intensity that's truly captivating. It's a performance that stays with you long after the credits roll. Alright, let's talk about Cillian Murphy's villainous side. In Red Eye, he gets to really sink his teeth into a more straightforward antagonist role, and he's absolutely chilling. He plays Jackson Ripner, a seemingly charming stranger who sits next to Rachel McAdams' character on a flight. But as the film progresses, we realize that he's not who he appears to be. He's part of a plot to assassinate a government official, and he's holding Rachel hostage to ensure her cooperation. Cillian elevates the simple premise with his performance. He's charming and disarming one minute, then cold and menacing the next. The confined setting of the airplane adds to the tension, and Cillian uses that to his advantage. He's always in control, always a step ahead, and you can feel the power dynamic shifting with every line he delivers. Red Eye is a taut, suspenseful thriller, and Cillian Murphy's performance is the driving force behind it. He's the kind of villain you love to hate, the one who gets under your skin and stays with you long after the credits roll. It's a reminder that sometimes the quietest villains are the most dangerous. Now, Cillian's role in Dunkirk isn't huge, but it's impactful. This is a film about survival, about the sheer scale of the evacuation at Dunkirk during World War II, and Cillian plays a small but pivotal part in that story. He's not a named character, just referred to as Shivering Soldier, but he represents the thousands of soldiers who were stranded on the beaches, desperate to escape. He's traumatized, shell-shocked, and clinging to hope. Christopher Nolan, being Christopher Nolan, doesn't give Cillian a lot of dialogue to work with. But that's the beauty of his performance. He conveys so much with just his eyes, his body language. You can see the fear, the exhaustion, the desperation etched on his face. Dunkirk is a testament to the power of ensemble filmmaking, and Cillian's performance, while brief, is an important part of that tapestry. He reminds us that even in the midst of chaos and destruction, there's still humanity, there's still hope. A Quiet Place Part 2 is a sequel to the surprise hit horror film, and Cillian joins the cast as Emmett, a reclusive survivor who's lost everything. He's hardened by the experience, cynical about the future, and initially reluctant to help Emily Blunt's character and her children. But what Cillian does so well is show the layers beneath that gruff exterior. Emmett is a man wrestling with guilt and grief, haunted by the choices he's made. He's lost faith in humanity, but the Abbott family, their resilience in the face of unimaginable loss, forces him to confront his own demons. The scene where he finally breaks down, confessing his past sins to Reagan, is incredibly powerful. You see the weight of his guilt, the years of bottled-up emotion pouring out of him. And of course, Cillian is fantastic in the film's suspenseful sequences. A Quiet Place Part 2 is a worthy successor to the original, and Cillian Murphy's performance is a big part of that success. He brings depth, humanity, and a touch of his signature intensity to the role, proving once again that he's one of the most versatile actors working today. Breakfast on Pluto is a unique film, even for Cillian Murphy. He plays Patrick Kitten Braden, a transgender woman searching for her mother in the 1970s Ireland and England. It's a bold, unconventional role, and Cillian dives in headfirst with a performance that's both heartbreaking and hilarious. Kitten is a survivor, a beacon of optimism and resilience in a world that's often cruel and unforgiving. She's determined to find her place in the world, to live life on her own terms, even if it means challenging societal norms and facing prejudice head-on. Cillian's performance is fearless. He completely transforms himself, physically and emotionally, into Kitten. He captures her vulnerability, her humor, and her unwavering spirit with a sensitivity that's remarkable. Breakfast on Pluto is a testament to the power of empathy, of stepping outside yourself and embracing the experiences of others. Cillian Murphy's performance is a masterclass in empathy, bringing a complex, marginalized character to life with dignity and respect. We're ending this list with a powerful film that showcases Cillian Murphy's incredible range as an actor, the wind that shakes the barley. Set during the Irish War of Independence, Cillian plays Damien O'Donovan, a young doctor who gets swept up in the fight for Irish freedom. This isn't your typical war movie, it's a deeply personal story about the human cost of conflict, about the choices people are forced to make when their ideals are put to the test. And Cillian's performance is the emotional core of the film. At the start, Damien is idealistic, driven by a desire for a free and independent Ireland. But as the war escalates, he's confronted with the brutality of conflict, the moral compromises that become necessary. Cillian portrays this transformation with heartbreaking nuance. The Wind That Shakes the Barley is a film that stays with you long after the credits roll, and Cillian Murphy's performance is a big part of that. He embodies the complexities of war, the toll it takes on the human soul, with a raw honesty that's both captivating and devastating. And that's our list of the top 10 Cillian Murphy movies you need to watch. From mind-bending sci-fi to historical dramas and everything in between, he brings a unique presence and intensity to every role he takes on. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. See you next time.